Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I am currently sick, so if you notice that in my voice, that is why.
She's just here to serenade you
I
with
look,
that.
sound, and feel like a toad.
She's just gonna serenade you with that deep voice.
Yeah. I wish I got a nice raspy sick voice, but I don't really get that.
No, but that's okay. It's at least not squeaky.
Yeah, that's true. And it sounds better now than it did this morning. This morning when I woke up, I didn't think I was going to be able to record today, but it got better throughout the day.
Oh, always when you wake up in the morning with a cold and you gotta like clear everything out and like, oh,
Yeah.
it's terrible.
Mm-hmm. When I was at work on, what's today? Today's Friday. Thursday for the people watching. um, the other day when I was at work, I went through 4 boxes of tissues.
4 boxes.
4.
Jeez.
So my nose is raw. I have nasty dry skin. I hope no one can see it.
I can't see it yet.
Good, good. All right. So today I am going to be discussing the case of Skylar Neese. This is one I've been wanting to cover. This case has all kind of always stuck with me because I remember when it happened. She's from West Virginia, but her body is found in Pennsylvania. So I remember in 2012, like being in my grandma's house and her school picture being on the news. So I vividly remember
Oh,
seeing her picture when this happened.
it's
Yeah.
crazy that you remember that.
So it's a very heartbreaking case. And I know, right? Yeah, weird things. That's why I feel like I've always secretly been into true crime, but I didn't really know it,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah, this case is very sad. It's kind of about being stabbed in the back by friends. And
Mm.
hearing her dad talk about it, will make you want to cry. Like, her dad is still so heartbroken over this, and it's been almost 13 years. So,
I'm so hormonal right now. This is such a bad time.
oh no.
I
All right,
burst
so
into
like
tears. It's
always, we're
the
gonna.
hormones.
Oh, I know. Hopefully, you won't. um, like always, we're going to talk about the victim and focus on the victim. So, Skylar Annette Neese was born February 10th, 1996. She was the only child to Mary and Dave Neese in Morgantown, West Virginia. Mary Neese was working as an administrative assistant in a cardiac lab, and Dave Neese was a product assembler at Walmart. Skylar grew up in Star City, which is a small town near Morgantown. She was known for her love of reading, her active social life. She was described as intelligent, compassionate, stubborn, and bubbly. In second grade, at the age of 8, Skylar met Sheila Eddy at a community center right outside of Morgantown. Sheila was born September 29th, 1995, and she was also an only child to Tara and Greg Eddy. Sheila lived in Blacksville at that time, which is about 20 miles west of Morgantown. But the two girls immediately became really close friends. Sheila would even just walk right into the niece's house whenever she would come over because she was like family to them. Blacksville was an area that had been impoverished by mine closures over the years. So Sheila wasn't her family wasn't super well off. Her parents divorced in 2000, and when her mom remarried, they moved to Morgantown. So Skylar and Sheila were then able to start going to school together as freshmen in high school in October of 2010. It was noted how Sheila could suddenly afford things she previously couldn't just a few years earlier, and some claim that she used her sexuality to become more popular since this was a new start and she didn't know anyone at this high school.
Well, that's a big claim to make for somebody in high school, though.
Right, yeah. Well,
Like saying,
you'll kind of learn a little more about Sheila as we go on.
okay, okay, okay,
Yeah, yeah. It'll make sense then.
okay.
At this time, Skylar was living in Star City, West Virginia. It's just a tiny city enclosed by the city of Morgantown and the Monongahela River. Skylar was a straight A student at University High School, and she had never really gotten in trouble. At University High, Skylar and Sheila met and befriended Rachel Schoaf, who was born on June 10th, 1996. And like Sheila, her parents were also divorced. Sheila was like a really pretty, like natural redhead, like not like strawberry blonde redhead, like red hair. Really pretty.
Oh, wow.
Rachel was an aspiring actress and singer, and she was also very religious. She came from like a Catholic background. She was an active
Okay.
participant in Young Life activities and attended the St. Francis Catholic School before coming to University High. So these three girls became very close. They started hanging out together all the time. They also started getting into trouble, such as drinking, smoking weed, and breaking curfew. So typical, high school, teenage
Yeah.
things. Me and you are
I
guilty of
was
that
doing
as
all
well.
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
You were a bad influence on me.
Yeah. Hell yeah, it was.
um, Looking back, parents and friends of both Skylar and Rachel have since claimed that Sheila was a bad influence on them.
Okay.
This case is kind of a good example of how your peers matter, peer pressure is real, and bad influences that get you to do things you normally wouldn't do is very real. Especially when you're in such a vulnerable time in life, like a teenager in high school.
Oh, you're so easily influenced in high school.
Yes.
So, like,
Yes.
oh, it's really it. Like, if you think about it now, we think about how pathetic we really were back then of what we would have
Yeah.
done to like be cool or like
Right.
fit in with
Yes.
people. Oh, yeah.
Yes. And yeah, fitting in is so important. No one wants to be the loser. No one wants to be the
Yep.
kid sitting alone at lunch.
Yeah. So
Like
you
fitting in is all that
for
matters in high school.
popularity, yeah. Yep.
So Skylar's cousin Kyle described Sheila as a bad seed. Some of Skylar's other friends would avoid hanging out with Skylar if Sheila was around. Sheila was described as mean and controlling, and that will come out a lot in this case. Rachel's other friends also felt similarly about Sheila, and they blamed Rachel's change in personality and behavior on Sheila. Despite all of this, Skylar had no intention of ending her relationship or friendship with Sheila. Sheila was sadly a friend that and a person that Skylar looked up to. It's unclear
Yeah.
why Rachel wanted to stay friends with Sheila. An article that I read said Rachel was from an affluent family, which already made her one of the more popular kids. So she didn't really need Sheila for popularity status. But it's thought that she enjoyed doing the things with Sheila and Skylar that she couldn't do with her religious friends. So I think Rachel was kind of
Okay.
enjoying the rebellious things that she
Yeah,
never
that
did
makes
before.
total sense. Yeah. That
Yeah.
like somebody you grow up in a very restricted household and the next you get a little taste of that, a little bit, little drinking, little weed, little fun, and you're like, all right,
Yeah.
yeah, this is good. Why would I give that up even
Yeah,
if
this is
somebody is
great.
shitty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Rachel entering Skylar and Sheila's friend group seemed to cause a bit of a shift in their dynamic. For a while, everything was going really well, and the three were super close. They acted more like sisters than friends. If they weren't together, they were texting, communicating on social media, mostly on Twitter. We'll go through some of their Twitter
Mm.
stuff later. But all of that changed sophomore year. During a sleepover in the summer of 2011, Skylar apparently watched Sheila and Rachel have some sort of what's described as drunken sex together. And it
Okay.
said the sleepover ended with Skylar and Sheila arguing.
Okay.
This is when tension started forming between Skylar and Sheila, and she watched as Sheila and Rachel would become closer without her. Skylar began feeling excluded. Sheila and Rachel would sometimes dress alike and not tell Skylar. They would just hang out without her, which would understandably leave her feeling left out.
Yeah, I think like when you're a teenager and you're hanging out with your friend group and you're trying to like matching outfits, friendship bracelets. Oh man, do you remember friendship bracelets and necklaces and stuff?
Yeah.
You know, those types of things.
Yeah.
And then next you know it, when you're a three-way friendship and now two of them, I couldn't imagine how crushed she was being a teenager dealing
Yeah,
with
I
that.
know. Yeah. Especially because her and Sheila were friends first before Rachel came into the picture. And now she's
Yeah,
like getting
like you
pushed
said,
out.
backstabbing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad. The whole case is very sad. Sheila and Rachel were both sexually active at this time and had their own boyfriends, while Skylar did not. This made Skylar kind of seem like more like an annoying little sister to them rather than their friend, which is very sad.
Yeah.
Social media plays a big part in this story. Skylar would share some of her frustrations on Twitter. Twitter was like the one site I never really used. As far as social media goes, I don't know, I never got into Twitter. I didn't really understand the point of it.
Yeah, me neither.
And now that the name has changed, I'm definitely not using
Yeah. Yeah.
it. one tweet One tweet she shared on September 6, 2011 said, I tell the whole school all the shit I have on everyone, which is a lot. TTTTT. Hashtag if I could get away with it.
Hmm. All
So
right.
that's
So,
kind of like
and yeah,
a
an
red
angry
herring,
little, yeah, little teenager. She's a little upset. She's letting it out
Mhm.
there, like, and also then what is your outlet, like then
Right.
social media and like how many times do we cringe about the statuses we made back in
Ugh,
2000?
literally every day. Every time my memories pop up, there's something every day. I'm like, oh my god, what was I thinking?
You know,
Why was I
yeah,
so
back
dumb?
then it's like yeah, I'm like face palm like
Yes. Ugh. Because everything was so
yeah.
dramatic back then, you know?
Yeah. What else do you have other than your drama and your attitude at that point? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have much life experience to like go on. You're just yeah.
just winging it, baby.
Yeah. One from May 31st, 2012 said, "You're a two-faced bitch and obviously fucking stupid if you thought I wouldn't find out."
Oof.
Yeah. Now, obviously, we don't know who or what these tweets are about, but looking back after what happens, it's a little cryptic.
Yeah.
A tweet on July 4th said, "Sick of being at fucking home. Thanks, friends. Love hanging out with you too." So
Oh,
that one kind of seems like it's
that's
probably pointed at Sheila and Rachel because, they're probably, again, doing something without her.
yeah, and she probably found out, and it's like, just picture a teenager at home learning that your friends are out having a blast and you're at home. Like, of course you're upset,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep. And the last tweet she ever posted was on July 5th, 2012, and said, "You doing shit like this is why I will never completely trust you."
And she shouldn't have.
No, she shouldn't have.
And it's I
It
know where
seems
this is
like
going,
both
and
her and Sheila. Mhm.
I know where this is going, and I just feel like it's one of those situations where you want to slap them and wake them up. Be like, honey, those kids don't
I
matter.
know.
You know, those
I
those,
know. I
those kids
know.
do not matter. And uh, it's so hard.
I know. And it's so heartbreaking because I feel like Skylar was someone I would have been friends with.
Yeah, they were around our age.
Yeah. Yeah. They were 2 years younger than us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. The first week of June 2012, the girls went on a week-long trip to Myrtle Beach.
Ew. No.
Yeah. Apparently, Skylar and Sheila spent a majority of the trip arguing.
Oh,
When they got home, Sheila told Rachel Skylar must die.
no, honey. We don't go there. We don't go
Skylar's
there.
Instagram. Whoa.
No.
Skylar's Instagram is still up and active. It has pictures on it from this trip. She has a picture of the beach from her hotel room, and she has a picture of the big Ferris wheel. So it's just like, oh, it's just weird seeing
Yeah.
that, of a place that we've both been, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right over
She even
there.
has a cool picture that, yeah, yeah, you're literally 5 minutes away. On her Instagram, she also has this really cool picture that she took of Sheila with like the sun setting in the background. So like her face is kind of dark, and then you have the cool sunset. And she titled that photo on June 22nd, "I Love Summer."
Yeah.
So their relationship is very up and down. Like they're on this
Yeah.
week long trip to Myrtle Beach where they're fighting. On June 22nd, she's taking a picture of her best friend and titling it "I Love Summer." So very rocky here.
Yeah.
In July of 2012, Rachel was going to go away to a Catholic church camp for 2 weeks, but it got postponed due to weather. Rachel told Sheila they should go ahead with their plan before she leaves. On Thursday, July 5th, 2012, Skylar got home from her job at Wendy's around 10 p.m. She kissed her parents and went to her room. Around midnight, one of the girls texted her to see if she wanted to go for a joyride. Skylar said yes, and she snuck out of her room by placing a small bench under her bedroom window. There was a cop car parked at an intersection near where the girls had originally intended to go to like smoke weed. So they got scared and changed their route to head northwest of Blacksville instead and drove down Morris Run Road, which is a one-lane back road in Brave, Pennsylvania, which is in Greene County, just over the state line. This road was familiar to all three as they had driven it many times on their way either to or from Sheila's father's house, who lived in that area. He lived on Eddie's Run Road, which is parallel to Morris Run Road. Sheila parked her car about a mile down the road. They walked and talked for a little while, and then Skylar headed back to the car to get a lighter because they forgot to grab one. As she did this, the girls counted to 3, which was part of their pre-planned code, and on
Mm.
3, started stabbing Skylar with knives they had hidden beneath their hoodies.
Mm.
Skylar tried to run, but she was tackled by Rachel. So warning, this part's a little rough. Skylar managed to grab Rachel's knife and cut Rachel above her ankle. Rachel claimed that she stopped attacking Skylar after being injured, but Sheila continued to stab Neese until there was complete silence and Neese's neck stopped making weird sounds.
Oh my goodness.
So she stabbed her until her neck stopped gurgling.
Wow. Teenagers.
They literally stabbed her in the back.
Literally. And she ran for her life.
Mm-hmm.
And she still ran after her.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ugh.
Even after that, when Skylar started to get away, they still made the decision, nope, we're going to continue this. We're going to end this.
Yeah. And one of the girls now is also injured herself.
Mm-hmm.
And hiding knives underneath their jackets?
Yep.
Oh, wow. That's
In her dying moments, Skylar could only whimper, Why? The chilling thing about her asking why is because she wanted to be a lawyer. Her dad said, and if you ever heard her argue, you'd know exactly why. She could argue a point. Her biggest thing was why. Why? Tell me why. They had planned to bury Skylar, but the ground was too rocky for their shovels. Instead, they moved her body next to a big tree and covered her with rocks and branches.
So they brought a shovel.
Mm-hmm.
They brought knives.
Mm-hmm.
So from start to finish, they had this planned out, getting rid of the body and everything.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep.
I can't even imagine that conversation between two teenage girls, honestly.
No. How does your brain even think of that at that age?
Yeah, like planning, like they literally planned that out. They had a conversation saying,
Mm-hmm.
yep, we'll hide it under our jacket, and then on the count of three, we're going to get her.
Yep.
Like,
Yep. Yeah. Sophomore summer going into your junior year, you're like thinking about college. You're thinking about like
yeah,
what your grades need to be, what you need to do over the next 2 years to get into college. You're not thinking about murdering your best friend and how you're gonna do it.
right? Like, what? Murdering your best friend. Goodness.
Yeah, this case is horrible.
Mm.
One article I read said they cleaned themselves off with towels in the Morris Run Creek nearby. One said they used wet wipes. Either way, they cleaned themselves up, which they had planned to do, and they brought a change of clothes that they changed into afterwards. They had all the supplies they needed: knives, towels, bleach, change of clothes, and shovel all hidden in Sheila's trunk. They left Skylar's cell phone turned off next to her body. Skylar was just 16 years old.
Mm. Makes me sick.
It does, yeah. I hate this story. And it's one I just randomly
I,
think about time to time because I vividly remember it.
I knew of this story for sure. Like, I knew that the teenagers and all that, but I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
all the details. Premeditation
Yeah. And all the like little
is
conflicts
nuts.
that were happening beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, this plan to kill Skylar didn't totally come out of nowhere. Fellow students and a teacher at University High later recalled overhearing the girls discuss ways to dispose of a body in October of 2011.
What?
But, yeah, a body had been found behind the school around that time, so it didn't seem totally out of place. So no
No.
one really thought twice about it.
Wow.
So, yeah. According to those that overheard this conversation, the girls specifically were trying to figure out a way to get rid of Skylar. So eventually, when other people are hearing this, they do start mentioning Skylar's name. Apparently. I wasn't there, but that's just what I'm reading in all the articles I've read about this. And apparently someone told Skylar about this, and she confronted the girls, but they assured her it was nothing.
Wow.
In the spring of 2012, Rachel had started getting worried that Skylar was going to blackmail them about her and Sheila's relationship or whatever they were,
Um,
and told another student, I wouldn't mind if she died.
oh my god.
Yeah.
How heartless is that?
So even though, right. So a teacher was overhearing them talk about disposing of a body, but didn't think anything of it because the body had been found recently. Some people are hearing Skylar's name being mentioned. Sheila's directly, or Rachel's directly telling someone, I wouldn't mind if Skylar died, and no one's telling anybody.
No. Literally, the girls are pretty much like picketing with posters saying, I'm going to kill her. And nobody's paying attention.
Right. Yeah, no, or they just don't believe them. Because, again, they're high schoolers. Why would two high school
I know you
girls
can't
kill their friend?
blame them for not believing them because yeah,
Hmm.
it's high schoolers. Like I would never
Yeah.
any of my classmates or anything when we were back in high school. It's not like I was looking at anybody thinking, "Oh, look at this killer over there," like
Right. I know, right. And sometimes when you're mad at someone, you do just say, "Oh, I want to kill them," you know? They could
yeah,
have just been
yeah,
thinking it was that.
yeah.
They probably weren't thinking they were talking literally, but they
No.
were. So that is when they seriously started planning her murder. But the three of them continued to hang out together up until her death on July 5th. The next morning, so now we're going back to the morning after the murder, Skylar's parents got up early for work, not knowing their daughter wasn't in her room. Her dad came home from work later that day expecting to see Skylar because she used his car to go to work. She worked at a Wendy's. One thing to note is that Skylar and her dad were really close. Daddy daughter days are what Dave says he misses most. Days
Oh
when
wow, thank
his
you.
wife Mary worked and it was just him and Skylar together. He said, "We had the time of our lives on those days. We could do anything we wanted," he said. "We had tea parties. One time I drank toilet water and didn't know it." So
Oh
she
my
was a little bit
god.
of a jokester. Yeah. She loved to play jokes on people. And her dad also said her Aunt Carol was her favorite target as far as jokes go. He remembered a time Aunt Carol almost lit her carpet on fire, so Skylar named her Sparky after that, and then bought her aunt a spark plug that Christmas. And then it said that her
That's
aunt still
so cute.
hangs that spark plug up to this day. Yeah.
Oh.
Recalling more memories of a young Skylar, her dad shared a story about a time she asked him for a piece of bread so she could feed the ants. After being told you don't feed ants, she told him, "Daddy, they have to eat too." That's the kind of heart she had, he said. She would never hurt anyone. She wouldn't even let me kill a fly because they deserve to live too. That was her thinking, Dave said.
Wow.
He said one
And
of their
that
favorite
person was
things to do
taken from
together
her
was to
too.
go bowling before they. Yeah. He said one of their favorite things to do is to go bowling before they would pick her mom up from work. He said if they had one more day together, I think we would go bowling. He said, trying to hold back tears. So sad.
That is
Like now, this
very,
poor
very sad.
man has to live the rest of his life without his only daughter, who he was very close with.
And it's not even just his only daughter. Like she was growing up to be a good person in this world full of
Hmm.
shitty people.
Yeah. Yep. And she was a good person. She has had these two horrible friends in her life that didn't deserve her.
No, they did not deserve her. She deserves so much better. And like I said, I wish we could go back and slap the little teenager and, that everybody is at some point in their
Hmm.
life being defiant or being a little stupid about decisions that you make or associate yourself with. You're a teenager. You don't know any better, but you wish that you could just go
Right.
back and just be like, "Wake up, girlfriend." Like this is it's
I
not going to work
know.
out
I
and
know.
nobody is worth that.
It's true. So after Dave didn't see Skylar anywhere and she didn't respond to him knocking on her bedroom door, he used a hanger to unlock it and saw her bed wasn't slept in and she wasn't anywhere in the room. He called his wife, who said she's probably out shopping with friends and he should call them. He called two of her friends and they hadn't seen her. She has never missed work, so her parents were going to call Wendy's at 4 p.m. to see if she made it in. Before they could even call, Wendy's called them asking if Skylar was coming in. That's when her parents knew something was wrong and they called 911. So luckily they didn't wait too long before calling police. Police took a report and noted she didn't take her purse or personal belongings with her wherever she went, and it didn't look like an abduction, and there were no signs of foul play. Luckily, security cameras had just been installed at their apartment complex, which I feel like in most cases, or not a lot of cases, when there's security cameras involved, they're always like not working at the time of the crime. But in this case, there were security cameras. They showed Skylar jogging from her apartment building at 12:31 a.m. and getting into a vehicle willingly. But it was grainy and black and white. You couldn't tell the color of the vehicle or even what type of vehicle it was. This led police to believe she ran away, so they did not issue an Amber Alert. Back in 2012, in order to issue an Amber Alert, 4 criteria had to be met. 1, law enforcement must confirm that an abduction has taken place. 2, the child must be at risk of serious injury or death. 3, there must be sufficient descriptive information of child, captor, or captor's vehicle to issue an alert. 4, the child must be under 18 years of age. The next day, Skylar's parents posted flyers around town. Sheila and her mom even came over, offering to help Skylar's parents. Sheila even asked to go into Skylar's room, and she just apparently sat on her bed and cried.
Aw.
So this little bitch is coming over to help her parents look for Skylar, knowing what she did.
And she's going to sit on the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And she's doing that like the parents are home.
Yep. Yeah, they let her go into Skylar's room.
Wow. So you even put yourself in that situation. She didn't have to come over.
No.
Wow. That is psychopath shit right there.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is,
There's going to be some more coming out about Sheila. Yep.
wow. Okay.
She's a horrible person. That's when I told you earlier I couldn't wait to do this case to me and you can shit talk both of these girls.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so she went in her room. Her parents sat there and cried, acting like he's so upset that her friend is missing.
Look, I had to crisscross applesauce because you're getting me fired up.
Getting you fired up?
Getting me fired up.
I know, this case is very sad and infuriating. It's both spectrums. Skylar's parents felt police weren't doing enough at this time, and they were very upset with them. Rumors were also being started such that her dad was abusive, Skylar was pregnant and sent away, or that she was into hard drugs and overdosed. These are the rumors that are being spread around their little town.
One horse.
So her poor dad, who is super close with Skylar and very loving, is being accused of being abusive.
Yeah,
people. And her parents also got accused of being bad parents.
Yeah, people don't care.
No. Nope. Sheila was interviewed by police on July 9th, and it was noted that her demeanor seemed narcissistic. She was more curious about the investigation than she was of her missing friend.
Oh my god. Narcissistic? Yeah, I mean...
Mm-hmm. Police are just thinking that about this 16-year-old girl. She seems narcissistic. Sheila reported to them that she picked Skylar up around 11 p.m. and dropped her off at the end of Crawford Avenue about 30 minutes to an hour later. Police thought it was strange that they dropped Skylar off such a long way from the apartment, but Sheila said Skylar insisted they do so she wouldn't wake her parents when she went back inside. Police also took notice to Sheila's silver car and considered the possibility that her car could be the one seen on surveillance. The next day, police called Rachel to come in for an interview, and she acted like she had not heard of Skylar's disappearance yet. She was acting shocked.
Did
Like,
you
what?
watch
You
the
want to talk
video?
to me? Of their interviews? No, I didn't see any.
I was curious, like, how good was the acting? I'm always
Right.
curious.
Yeah, I know. I did watch a Hulu documentary episode about her. Well, it wasn't a true documentary. It was like one of the, I forget what it was called. I'll link it. Called Sleeping with the Enemy or something like that, where each episode is a different case.
Yeah.
And hers was episode 9, I believe. So it was just like a 30-40 minute episode about it, where they like talk about this, but they didn't actually show any surveillance of their interviews.
Okay.
So yeah, they called Rachel, and she's acting like she hadn't heard about that Skylar was missing. She also had left for church camp on July 7th, um, but on July 6th. So they kill Skylar the night of July 5th. On July 6th, Rachel goes on a boat trip to Cheat Lake with her mother and her mother's friend. So she just kills her best friend and then just goes on a trip like nothing
Yep,
happened.
just living life like nothing happened.
Yep. Yep. Rachel did agree to a face-to-face interview with police when she gets back from church camp, or when she gets back from this boating trip, but she never showed up.
Wow.
It is speculated that Rachel may have disposed of their knives on this boat trip, but we don't know that for sure because they're never found.
Oh, wow. I mean, it would, that's admittedly a good place to dispose of them. She's going out on a boat trip.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Because if they're at the bottom of the lake, I don't know how deep that lake was that they were on,
Yeah.
but it's not likely they'd be found. When they do eventually interview Rachel, she told them the same exact story that Sheila told, to the point that it was suspicious and seemed rehearsed. Unfortunately, as suspicious as they both seem at this time, the police have no other evidence against Sheila or Rachel.
Yet.
So the school year, yeah, yet. So the school year starts back up again on August 16th, 2012, still with no answer of what happened to Skylar or where she is. Sheila and Rachel began acting suspicious. They would cut class, not do their assignments. A lot of students began thinking they were involved. Rumors were starting. They were being harassed. An anonymous Twitter account was even created to harass them online. And then I think they both started homeschooling then. I
You know
mentioned
what?
earlier about the girls being very active.
You know
They
what?
deserved it, you know.
I think they deserved it.
Yeah, they deserved it. Yep.
So,
Yep. This is one of those times where I'm like, too bad, so sad.
yeah. Boo hoo.
Yep. I'm glad those people harassed them.
Yeah.
They deserved it.
The only time I support bullying.
Yeah. I'm glad they pushed them to go to homeschool.
Yeah. Rot in your
They're probably
bedroom.
safer that way, so they don't
Yeah.
plan their demise.
God.
Yeah. Yeah, I mentioned earlier the girls were very active on social media, especially Sheila. Her Twitter account is still public if anyone wants to go check it out and shit talk her. It's at underscore SHELIAA. But she would post 10 plus times a day. Like, I was looking through it, and even just trying to go back to the July of 2012, I had to give up because there were so many posts to scroll back that far. She posted so much.
Yeah.
And it was
I had to
all
give up.
weird stuff. Some of it
Spend
was
like
really
4 hours.
dark.
4 hours
Yeah,
just scrolling
that's how
back.
much she was posting on Twitter. She lived on Twitter.
Yeah. She likes
Her and
attention.
Rachel didn't post much about Skylar, though. After she went missing, they didn't really say much on social media about her. On March 13th, 2013, Sheila reposted someone else's post that was saying their thoughts and prayers are with the Neese family. And then she made her own post that same day with pictures of her and Skylar saying, "Rest easy, Skylar. You'll always be my best friend. I miss you more than you could ever know. You killed her."
Oh, this is, I'm, I'll fight how old is she? 17? I'll fight a 17-year-old. I don't care.
I know, right? Well, she's not anymore. So.
No, not anymore. So let's go.
You're right. We'll take her.
Hell yeah.
On April 1st, 2013, yeah, we will. On April 1st, 2013, Sheila tweeted, "We really did go on 3."
No, she did not.
She did. This
Oh my
bitch.
god. The balls,
This bitch
man.
ass bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this bitchity bitch of
Yeah.
bitches.
This bitch fucking bitch
Fuck this
posted,
bitch.
"We really did go on 3."
Oh my god.
Who
Yeah, I'll
are
show
you? Like,
you going on 3.
like, yeah,
God damn.
right? Like, that is the. I don't even know the word.
Yeah, what is the word for that? I,
Yeah. I mean, that shows her narcissism right there.
yeah, the amount of
Like, she's
confidence
basically
she
admitting
had in
what they
herself
did.
to write that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to write that
Yes.
and press post. And what, in your head you're thinking, "Ah,
Hmm.
we'll never know."
And never deleted it because it's still there.
Oh, well. Ugh.
On April 28th, 2013, she posted, "I hate seeing or hearing things that remind me of you because you're the last person I want to be reminded of." Now, I don't know if that's about Skylar,
Yeah.
or if, what else would it be about? And
Yeah. I mean,
that's pretty
and
fucked up if it is about her.
that is very fucked up if it is about her.
So that's a little bit of what Sheila's mind is like. West Virginia State Police get involved in Skylar's case. They told Mary and Dave to cut off communication with Sheila and Rachel due to concern they are involved. But, like, Skylar's parents, like, couldn't believe that. They're like, they would never do something like that. They were her friends.
Yeah.
They
Of
did
course that's what they
go along
thought.
with what the police said, though. Yeah. They collected phone records and reviewed the surveillance footage, proving the girls did not pick Skylar up at 11 p.m. like they said, because the footage shows Skylar getting in their car at 12:31 a.m. The girls were supposed to take lie detector tests in December of 2012. Sheila failed, and on Rachel's way there for her appointment, she jumped out of the car and started running away.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Catch me if you can. I'm gonna get away with it.
Rachel's starting to crack at this point, though.
I
Like,
I knew I was gonna say something earlier, and I was like, I know it. Rachel's gonna be the one because Sheila's a stone cold bitch. Like she ain't cracking.
yes, yes. And Rachel never would have done something like this, I don't think, if she wasn't friends with Sheila.
No, that's the vibe I'm getting.
I'm
Like
not
it
defending
doesn't.
her in any way.
No,
But,
it does not in any way diminish what the fuck she did. However,
right.
same as my case, the Heather Elvis case, I don't think Sidney Moore
Hmm.
would have killed Heather Elvis if Tammy wouldn't have made him do it. You know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like we said earlier,
So
your peers are very important. Peer pressure is real.
yep.
So yeah, the pressure is starting to really get to Rachel at this point. She had a nervous breakdown on December 28th. One article said she barricaded herself in her room and was threatening to kill herself. One article said she was like chasing her brother with a knife. Either way, she was losing it, and her mom called 911.
Her
The police soon
poor
arrived.
parents.
Yeah, both of their parents. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of people are affected in this case. The police soon arrive, and Rachel was taken to Chestnut Ridge, a psychiatric hospital in Morgantown, and she was released 5 days later. On January 3rd, 2013, Rachel confessed to investigators that her and Sheila stabbed Skylar to death. So
Yep, I knew
she
she was
couldn't
going
take
to
it
be the
anymore.
one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When asked why they did it, her response was, "We just didn't like her anymore."
Mm. God, I hope that guilt is eating her alive.
I hope so. I hope she suffers every day until she dies.
I hope she
Both
is
of them.
rotten from the inside out, okay?
You killed someone because you didn't like them anymore. You didn't want to be friends with them anymore. You couldn't have just ignored her, blocked her. You
Anything
had to
else.
kill her.
Anything else besides murder.
Yes. Like, those are two very big extremes. How do you go from, let's just stop talking to her to, actually, let's just murder her?
Yeah. And like the whole murder. I mean, we're not just talking
Mm-hmm.
like we're just going to murder her. From start to
Right.
finish, they plan that shit out.
Yes. And it
And they
wasn't
have gotten
like,
away with it.
yeah. And it wasn't like a quick, painless death either. They stabbed her to death.
Yeah.
Investigators immediately took Rachel so she could show them where the body was, but there was snow on the ground and she couldn't remember the exact location. After this, they wanted to try to get a confession from Sheila. They even had Rachel wear a wire, but they never got anything out of Sheila. 2 weeks later, investigators returned to the area when snow had dissipated a bit, and they found Skylar's remains on July 16th, 2013. She was found with 50 stab wounds.
Shut your mouth right now. 50?
50.
Do we know who did how many? Did anybody confess?
No, I don't know.
Oh,
I
50.
know for a fact Sheila did more, but yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, I have no question in my mind she did.
Yeah. And in the Hulu documentary, uh, Skylar's aunt says that she thinks if it was just one of them, they wouldn't have been successful. That like Skylar would have taken them because she was like
Yeah.
fierce and stubborn and could hold her own. But the fact
Yeah,
that the
she
two of
was.
them ganged up on her, she didn't really stand a chance.
No, she had no chance.
Mm-hmm. After this and at this time, Rachel was allowed to roam free while authorities continued to investigate because the only actual evidence they have is a confession.
Okay.
Investigators conducted a search warrant of Sheila's house and confiscated her computer, phone, tablet, and knives from the kitchen, and they searched her car, a Toyota Camry. An FBI analysis of the car found Neese's blood, DNA in the trunk of the vehicle. So now they have some
Did they
evidence.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, okay. Good.
On May 1st, 2013, Sheila was arrested in a Cracker Barrel parking lot. Both teens were charged with murder as adults, as they should be.
Yep, yep. You do the big crime, you do the big time, baby.
Yep. Bitch ass bitch. Anyway,
Yeah. Yes.
on January 24th, 2014, Sheila was sentenced to life in prison.
Good.
Rachel pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, a lesser charge based on her cooperation with authorities and her coming clean, and was sentenced to 30 years in prison with the following month, with the possibility of parole in 10 years.
Mm.
Only Rachel apologized to Neese's parents during her plea deal. Sheila was very stoic and cold-looking. She had no emotion.
Because that's a psychopath. She would
Mm-hmm.
have done it again.
She would have. She probably would have done it on her own, even, I bet. If she
Yeah,
really felt that strongly about
she
getting
got
rid
the
of Skylar.
confidence. Yeah, she got the confidence now. She did it once. She did it with somebody else. She would have done it again.
Yeah. Yep. And when you watch some clips of Rachel, you can tell she is remorseful about what happened. Um, but I mean, obviously, that doesn't change anything. You're still a horrible person because the fact that you even had it in you to go along with this, but she at least does show remorse, unlike Sheila.
Yeah, I mean, good for her, I guess, showing some
Yeah.
remorse there. You're a little bit human. However,
Hmm.
yeah, no.
Yeah. It doesn't erase what happened.
No, you made that choice. You made every single choice you made from the time you
Yep.
planned that. You did that, girlfriend, so.
Yep. Rachel has been denied parole several times, most recently in July 2024. In a statement she made, she said she earned a bachelor's degree in communication and a cosmetology certificate while in prison, believing her maturity since age of 16 indicates she can be a productive member of society. The parole board deliberated for about 10 minutes and told Schoaf that a write-up since her last hearing and a lack of a home plan were their primary reasons for denying her parole. They told her to come to her next hearing, which could be as soon as June of 2025, without any write-ups if she wants parole. I don't know what write-ups they are referring to. I don't know if she got in trouble for something. I don't know if that's what they mean by write-up. I couldn't really find anything about that.
Yeah, that's what I would guess it means, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know either. So June 2025, she can be up for parole again. So that's 2 months away.
Yeah, it's coming.
Mm-hmm. Because it's April 4th, and we're recording this. It's coming quick. Where was I? Schoaf's projected release date is April 30th, 2028, according to West Virginia Division of Corrections and Rehabilitation records. Sheila Eddy is eligible for parole starting in May of 2028.
Okay.
Both girls are imprisoned at Laken Correctional Center. Um,
Well, I hope nobody's getting parole in 2028 then.
yeah, I hope not. I know Sheila's parents, definitely her dad, have been going to the parole hearings and they've been doing like victim statements each time saying like, no, don't let them out, pretty much. Or for Rachel anyway. Sheila
Good.
hasn't had any of those yet,
Good.
but yeah, I mean Sheila should definitely not be released. There's something wrong with her.
There's, yeah, definitely something wrong with her.
Yeah, she is a bad egg for sure. On April 12, 2013, Skylar's Law was enacted in West Virginia, which mandates that law enforcement agencies report suspected missing or abducted children to the Amber Alert authorities at the initial stages of the investigation, regardless if they meet all of the Amber Alert criteria or not. Because that was the issue in her case, was she didn't meet all the criteria. I think she only met like one of them. So they
Yeah.
couldn't issue an Amber Alert. So now with this Skylar's Law, but the only thing is it's only in West Virginia. It's not countrywide.
Yeah, it's state to state, yeah.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because this could happen anywhere.
Yeah.
Now in her case, it wouldn't have changed, and like she was already dead, it wouldn't have changed anything. But for cases of actual abductions, like that can make a big difference.
No, but it could have made a difference in catching their killer a lot sooner too.
Right.
Because by the
Yep.
time they got the body is when they could sit there and start possibly convicting them, and it took how long for them to find the body?
Right. Yeah, because she was killed July 5th, and they didn't find her till January 16th.
Yeah. So that's a long time that
That's
they
6
were
months.
out
Yeah.
running scot free, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who knows what else they could have done?
Yeah.
So yeah, this case kind of also sheds light on like how social media can be very negative.
Yeah. I don't think we have to go on a whole spiel of that because I would
No.
hope that everybody knows how toxic
Right.
social media
Yeah.
is. And back then, I really feel like, because we were in high school and stuff then, that was definitely when I feel like it was starting to pick up more of cyberbullying and things like that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, definitely when we were in high school. Because I feel like, when did Facebook start? 2009 or 2008? We were freshmen.
Something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, I remember always like, oh, look, they're Facebook official. Like, you have to be Facebook official
Yeah.
in over relationships and stuff. And
Yeah.
times have, well, times have gotten worse, I'd say, as far as that goes.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, even like when, because I don't, me and you, we don't have kids, but I think about like I got my first cell phone in eighth grade, and kids literally grow up on phones. Like, what age do you allow your kid to get a cell phone? Like, do 5-year-olds have cell phones? Like, I wouldn't even know how to raise a kid right now.
Right? Yeah, it's
And even in
confusing.
school, they don't have textbooks. They use iPads and laptops. Like,
Yep. Yeah, it's a different world now.
crazy. Yeah. Because we use computers in school, but we still had textbooks.
Yeah. I mean, our freaking laptops were like 20 pounds still. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a scary world we live in. You really have to be careful. Um, and like, if you see weird things, like, don't ignore it. Like, there was
no,
clearly
especially,
little hints in Skylar's statuses and stuff.
yeah. There were some signs
Check your.
that I can't sit here and say that if anybody did or would have said anything, we'll never know whether it could have stopped this.
Mhm. Right.
However, if you see something, say something, you know.
Right. Yeah. Because her dad even says something about that. Like, it's not narking. Like, you could be saving a life.
Yeah.
And like, students heard them talking about this plan with Skylar and no one said anything. Maybe it could have saved her life had it been gotten to the right person.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
And it doesn't seem like Sheila was trying to hide anything,
No.
really.
No.
So,
Yeah, you guys should literally go check out her Twitter because it's nuts.
oh, I bet. That teenage angst back then, writing
Mm-hmm.
those
Yes.
statuses. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this was the horrible case of Skylar Neese.
We'll make like a
I'm
shadow
actually
and
going to change our
follow.
ending a little bit this time because
Why? What? I was so ready.
I know.
You
Please,
jerk.
please subscribe to our YouTube channel. um, we're starting to put our videos there, and I know right now we're just on a webcam, but we're going to be working to see if we can have use actual cameras and have it's going to be a little in the works. So it's not going to be super soon, but we're looking to make our videos a little better for YouTube. So that way we're not just a podcast, that we're also doing YouTube. Because at this point we're just posting our webcam footage of us recording. But please subscribe to us. Please like share our episodes because that's how other people will find us. We're doing this with a passion because we want to make a difference. This is not like just entertainment purposes. So we ask that you please help us out. Like, share us, rate us, comment, give us feedback. We want it all.
Yeah, and keep tuning in each week because every listen counts, like,
Yeah.
and every story needs to be told. And we just want to
Yeah.
bring light to definitely any kind of cases that I'm hoping like a lot of these people haven't heard of. Of course, it won't be all of them, but hopefully.
Right. Yeah. But especially
So,
like for people that are in our circle that know us, I feel like a lot of them that have come up and like talked to me even at work, like don't know a lot about any of these cases.
yeah. Yeah, a lot of people have said the same thing to me. So I love that. makes me happy to know that, we can bring a little bit of awareness to people who deserve that.
Yeah. So yeah, follow all our socials and keep lurking around for our next episode.
Bye.
Bye.